Elon Musk and Tesla. Is there a global chip supply problem that will affect electricity vehicles more than others?
There is clearly a chip problem at the moment and a chip storage problem, and it hasn't really affected. When you look at the sales for Tesla, they are having record-breaking sales. They've just had their best quarter. So I don't think for now there are any long-term issues, but we'll have to wait and see. How long will this issue last? We'll have to wait and see as well, with regards to that. But I think just in light of the fact that when you look at the electrical vehicle industry overall, we've just had the record-breaking month. We've had 33,000 electrical vehicles that have been sold in September 2021. In comparison to September 2020, that's an increase of 50%. And when you look at 2019, that nearly covers the whole of 2019. So this certainly doesn't seem to be slowing down the electrical vehicles from a sales perspective and from a manufacturing perspective, but this is something to be mindful of going forward.
So, Miranda, what does the electric vehicle industry need right now? Is it infrastructure? Is it, making sure that you can power your car faster? Is it batteries? Is there a component that basically we're missing that could, spell a hiccup ahead?
Definitely batteries. There is a focus on batteries. There's also, when it comes to the charging points, we need to have more investment in terms of the technology. We need some government assistance with regards to that, because when you're looking at consumers and looking at Switch Mobility, we focus on e-buses and e-vans. Yeah. And one of the things I loved about Elon Musk's AGM from last night is that he mentioned that they will be expanding to all different vehicles. And I think when you're looking at electrical vehicles, this is something that will be covered across the whole spectrum. Looking at electrical vehicles as well, though, there is a price reduction point when you look at this long term. There's the service costs as well, which are a lot cheaper. Looking at e-buses, there's a noise reduction, so that's also for the well-being of the bus drivers. So I think long term, we definitely have a great future when it comes to electrical vehicles. We've seen from the UK fuel crisis that we've had more orders come through with regards to that. One of the things that highlighted, though, for years we've been talking about electrical vehicles and how it's really important for the environment, of course, for sustainability. But what we found over the last month and the last few weeks is that the consumers are more concerned about the convenience. And so it's more a case of, I don't want to queue, I don't want to have a punch up. And so for them, it seems to be more on the convenience side. Of course, there are consumers who are concerned about the environment, and there's that driving factor as well, which is very, very important.
And subsidies. I mean, if you pay 15, 20 pounds every time to get into London, it's cheaper to have an electric car, and that will probably make a difference to people's minds. How much are you expecting electric vehicles, buses, public transport to increase compared to private consumption vehicles?
Yeah. Well, if you look globally at the moment, we have 600,000 e-buses around the world, and that's set to increase by another 230,000 by 2027. Now, when you look at London, which is where we are at the moment, in London alone, we have 3,000 e-buses, and that's set to increase by nearly 10,000 across the next 10 years. And so there is definitely a demand, not just with e-cars, not just with e-trucks, e-vans. I know Elon Musk mentioned planes and boats as well, but there is definitely a demand when it comes to the e-bus industry, and that's something that Switch Mobility is at the leader of. We're looking to become the #1 European leader. We have a global outreach across 40 different countries, and what's also very innovative about the e-buses that Switch Mobility produces is that the e-buses that they're producing, it has a lifespan of 25 years. When you look at the average e-bus at the moment, the lifespan is only about 7 to 8 years. Yeah. So we're very innovative in that respect. There's also the lightweight design. Most buses are very heavy with a diesel, there's lots of noise. There is a noise reduction attached to the e-buses as well. So there's definitely an attractive focus there.
And Miranda, thank you so much. Miranda Brawn, their non-executive director at Switch Mobility, talking about some of the things at Switch and also giving us an overview of the sector as a whole.